Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is a 2026 Toyota C-HR with over 300 horsepower, all electric drivetrain. This is the most affordable EV from Toyota and we're going to take it for a first drive. Yes, gearheads, we have the all-new 2026 Toyota C-HR. It is reborn, this time as a full EV. So no more gas engine under this one, no more weak four-cylinder. We have over 300 horsepower, 338 total combined as this one sits. This is an XSE, the top trim as it is here configured for us. And we're just going to take a quick look here on the inside. I've already got it running. We've got this nice suede interior. I absolutely love this interior. Very comfortable seats. We'll talk more about the dash when we're actually behind the wheel driving it, but I did want to show you just a little bit sitting behind myself at 5'10". Because this is an EV, we're able to push the wheels out to the corners. This is a small vehicle, but I've still got a decent amount of room here. Heated outboard seats, USB-C power, and air vents. Mat pocket. Lots going on even here in the back seat, but let's hop behind the wheel and see what this thing is like to drive. Sitting behind the wheel, smaller steering wheel, very Prius-like gauge pod up here. And down here you push and turn to put it into drive, and off we go. Now, I will say this does feel a lot like the BZ, the bigger first all-electric vehicle on this platform for Toyota. But this one is more compact, more affordable, and lighter weight. So here we've got 338 horsepower. Now, I did not bring my 0 to 60 timer, but we are going to give this one a good old drive around here. We are in Boerne, Texas, the hill country as it is in central Texas for the Texas Auto Riders Texas Auto Roundup. And yes, everything will be POV here on this trip. And it is really just first impressions. What is it like getting in? What is the NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness like? Is it a fun vehicle to drive? Is it just a beating? There is quite a bit you can learn from just a short drive around town like this. And first and foremost, I will say I have always liked EVs for the fact that they are very easy to get in and drive. They just move when you want them to. The power is not reliant on a transmission to downshift, though you might have noticed I was already messing with the paddle shifters here. So up here on the gauge cluster, you can see I'm adjusting the regenerative braking here on this one. So in stop and go traffic, I can do it up to max regen, but you can see it's not holding on the brakes. I do have an auto hold down here on the center console, which I guess while we're going slow in traffic is a good time to talk about everything going on here. 2 Qi wireless chargers, which is a very welcome addition in today's modern society. We get a Lexus interface. We first saw this type of interface on Lexus products with the dual zone climate. So that is trickling down here to Toyota, which I really like. You can see we have heated seats set to auto, heated steering wheel set to auto, but very nice and comfortable in here. Lots of nice amenities from all of our charging. And then as we get out and we actually start driving this one around, it is very smooth. It is very nice. EVs make great luxury vehicles. I've said that from the get-go. I feel like the way we were pushed into EVs is against the natural grain of things. I feel like if we had just allowed the market to realize that these make great luxury cars, that they're nice, they're comfortable, they're quiet. I think that would have been seen as a premium feature and it would have trickled down. So the fact that we have a $42,000 top of the line, so it's fully loaded, but entry-level EV from Toyota is saying quite a bit, because it is quite luxurious in here. I already mentioned we have the Lexus interface here, so this already feels more premium than a lot of Toyota products that we're used to. The materials in here are even really nice. So the dash up here is really cool, just in the textured material that they're using here. There is a lot of controversy, so to speak, about the fact that, well, there is no glove box here in this one, but we do have a nice center console here, and we do have a pass-through underneath our Qi wireless chargers here. So we've got storage places, they're just reconfigured. Now, the lack of glove box is a packaging choice that the engineers made here to keep the dash more forward, to give more cabin space here on the inside. And given this vehicle's small stature, I don't feel like it's all that small or claustrophobic in here. It's definitely smaller than the BZ. Don't get me wrong on that. You are losing out on space, but compared to the outgoing C-HR, the gas-only, very subcompact little crossover that was underpowered, this ain't that anymore. We've got plenty of power here, all-wheel drive, and a lot of nice luxurious amenities. So there really is a lot to enjoy here and to like. Overall visibility, as I move around slowly here, you can see good visibility, but we do kind of have a chunky C-pillar back there in the back. That's a slight problem. We do have this little window here to help you see out. I have not quite adjusted my mirrors yet, but we can see here, yeah, good visibility from our mirrors. We have a JBL sound system in here, which is very nice. Two-person memory seat. So again, a lot of premium features that the last C-HR did not have, did not even think of having. And we've got Lexus-like comfort and quality here. The build quality so far, we've taken it on several different pavement types, and it is solid. Another great thing about EVs is that they drive like a much larger vehicle than they really are, because they are heavy. The battery is down underneath me, keeping my center of gravity low, so that I don't have a lot of body roll, and it's keeping the weight high so that when you ride over stuff, you're not like bouncing over it like you would in the, again, outgoing C-HR. So again, sitting here, you don't get to sit in the car with me. This POV is as good as we get, but I can say it is very comfortable in here. I am very pleased with the overall driving characteristic. The regenerative braking, like I said, I've got it maxed out right now. It is not overly sensitive. It does not throw me forward as soon as I lift my foot off the accelerator. It is all around, it is very well polished. It is very Toyota-like. We know Toyota has had a little bit of hiccup with some of their gas new vehicle launches here lately, but so far here in this C-HR, I am liking what I'm experiencing. Very quiet, very comfortable, very polished. And then again, coming here to a slow stop, now I'm on the brake myself. So using that regenerative braking is not using my brake pads, and it's putting more power in. I will go ahead and hit this button here. We've got nice, good 360 views. I can trigger it to automatically come on at slow speeds. When I start moving, you will notice that the car goes invisible, because the camera system remembers what I drove over, and it displays it underneath where my car is. So you'll see here, yep, it just remembers and is very nice. Next time we come to a slow stop, you will see that the camera system comes on at slow speed and remembers what I drove over. So very nice, very well put together. But we're going to get out here on this turn coming up and really kind of give this a little bit of the beans, see what a quick acceleration stop is like. So as we get out to this main street here, we will wait for a clearing, and then we're going to see what this is like. 338 horsepower. Ready, set. We're going to get out here and go. My goodness. Hey, we got a little bit of a traction warning on this one, but it will set off with the best of them. A peppy little vehicle, that is for sure. So very impressed with the overall drive nature of this. We're going to go ahead and move over here. We'll do it again from the red light here. See exactly what this is like from the jump when our light turns green. Ready, set, and off we go. No traction warning there. There's our traction warning. But my goodness, this thing, it'll run. Do I feel like it's got over 300 horsepower? No, but it is definitely peppy. It'll put you back in your seat. It'll be more than enough for merging onto highway traffic. It is really good. It is not the C-HR of old. Acceleration is not a problem here. All the way around, my quick first impressions here from behind the wheel. Very solid product from Toyota. I do believe for what EVs are selling right now, Toyota will sell plenty of these. They are the Toyota of EVs, and I am very much liking what I see here. Hopefully we can get one of these on our home turf very soon. For that, you are going to want to hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. Find us on all social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, behind the wheel of the 2026 Toyota C-HR, until next time, gearheads, bye.